with mining. Okay, so people talk about mining Bitcoin and things like that. So mining is actually with computers, not with those mining tools going into the cave with excavators. No, nothing of that kind. So you buy the computer, and nowadays you need specialized computers. Now let's go into talking about mining. So this mining, I use this analogy. It is like a mathematical game. Okay, it is like a mathematical game. So in the beginning, because there are not too many players, right? So in the beginning, back in 2009, in January, there are not too many players. So when there are not too many players, the difficulty level will be very low. Means that the question asked, it's just an example, not exactly like this. So it's like the question asked will be like 1 + 1, right? So, oh, I answered 2. Yes, out of 3 players, I answered 2 first. Means that block of Bitcoin is mine, right? And then the next 10 minutes, another new question will pop up. The question pop up would be like, for example, 2 + 3, right? And then one fella would answer first, 5. Okay, you got the right answer. Then you win that block, and then you got that block of Bitcoin. Okay, so every 10 minutes, new questions comes up, right? And then, okay, so in the beginning, you can imagine this is just for fun. All right, this is just for fun. So, and more people join in, right? You know why? Because I'll ask Ivan to join in. Ivan will ask Sean to join in. Sean will ask Dr. Max to join. Dr. Max will ask Sharon to join. Sharon will ask Jess to join. So everybody join in. So when more people join in, the level of difficulty goes up. So it's not like a plus, okay? It would be times and minus and divide and division, all mixed into the formula. Then slowly, these questions become harder and harder. Right? So when the question becomes harder and harder, you actually need tools, right? You need calculators to calculate to get the right answer, right? So if physically, you just imagine this. So you discover there's a gold mine. So in the beginning, you will just you would use your hand. You can dig with your hand. Why? Because it can be easily found. Yeah, with your hand, you can dig. Hey, this shiny stuff. You don't know what is it, right? But you think it's very nice. Okay, so you dig with your hands. You also can get all these yellowish, shiny stuffs. And then one day, okay, so this is another date, because this is also interrelated. So on the 22nd of May, this is another very significant date. On 22nd of May, 2010. Okay, this one programmer, he was also playing this game, and then he got hungry, and then he asked on the web, I think it's Reddit or not, and then he asked, and he said, "I'm hungry. Anybody who can send me 2 pizza, okay, send me 2 pizza, I would willing to pay 10,000 Bitcoin." Okay, so actually someone saw this and actually sent this fella 2 pizza, which was worth $25 for 10,000 Bitcoins. Now, if you use a calculator, you calculate now, $25 divide by 10,000. Then you will know the first ever known transaction is how much? 1 Bitcoin. That was how it started. And that is why now every year, May 22nd, we will celebrate something called the Pizza Day. And that is the reason why you see I buy t-shirts and with pizzas on. Right? And it so happens Sean yesterday just put a piece of pizza on his head. Maybe I think Sean is going to be very rich. So So you see, when it is worth something, then people start to exchange this Bitcoin thing, which was actually part of a game, for something, for a book, for a video, for a song, for something online. That was how it started. right? So now back to that story, the analogy I was saying. So in the beginning, it was very easy for you to pick up all these very hard, yellowish but shiny stuff, but you didn't know what it was until one day you overheard that, wow, some people actually took this thing and go and exchange for a plate of noodle or nasi lemak. Wow, this thing can exchange for that. Oh, then you start to realize, so actually this thing people call gold. Okay, you start to realize, oh, actually this place where I can pick up this very hard yellowish shiny thing is something called gold. And actually gold can be exchanged for nasi lemak. Oh, can be exchanged for mee goreng, can be exchanged for roti canai. Okay, you just imagine this thing. So what will you do? You will go back to the place and keep digging, right? But since it is now worth something, it is not only you who will be digging, all your neighbors, everyone you know will rush to that place and start digging, right? So no more you will see it lying around everywhere and you can pick with your hands. Everybody start to use tools. They have upgraded their equipment. So they start to use spoon. Wow, you see people use spoon, wow, they can get more. So you get spoon. But then after you got spoon, you see people not only get spoon, they will use the wok, the wok chan. What is that? What do you call the wok chan? The frying.
Not shovel, is it? Not yet shovel yet.
Not yet shovel,
slowly,
but anyway, I
you're
think you
going
get
slowly,
the idea. You go slowly and then
towards
people
the
start to use
shovel and the
shovel.
excavator and then the engine.
Correct. So you see, the cost of digging up this hard yellowish shiny thing, the cost of it goes up. No more you can dig with your bare hands. No more you can dig with your spoon or shovel. Now you have to use expensive equipment to go and dig. Why? Because it gets less and less. Now I think you all get the idea of how is it like. So you see, when more people join in, okay, and the production gets less, just now remember I said every 4 years it becomes less and less, right? So more people go and dig, more people use more expensive equipment go and dig. So the difficulty level definitely goes up. So you can imagine how hard it is after that. Now, of course, everything is about economics. And the beauty of the design is that when the level of difficulty goes up, when the cost of equipment dumps in and goes up, the cost of mining goes up. Okay, so it's like you make, you cook a dish. Okay, you cook otak, right? So if you use cheap ingredient, you can sell cheap, right? But if your ingredient is all the best and you use the very best, you need to cover your costs, right? Agree or not? So you need to sell expensive. It's the same thing. So when your cost of mining goes up, you need to sell this stuff more expensive. This hard yellowish shiny stuff called gold. You need to sell it more expensive, right? Now that is an analogy. So you can imagine why people back in our days, we call Bitcoin as digital gold. That is the reason we call it digital gold, right? Because when it is harder, when more competition, the difficulty goes up, then people want to sell more expensive. But then you ask, how come it goes up and then the price dumps down? Of course, as in any asset, as in any investment, when the market capitalization is not very big, it is very easy to fluctuate, right? You can play with it. They are market makers, right? And what if when you have all those future markets dump in all the derivatives, then right? You can short it, you can long it, then it's a different story, right? So you can play with that. So it's very simple. When the price goes up, you calculate your mining equipment, your electricity cost, still have profit. Then you join into mining. Agree? Agree? Now, what if the price crash down? Same thing, you will do the calculation. That if the price crash below my mining cost price, what you will do? What will most people do?
Not worth it, no.
Not worth it. So if not worth it, you turn your
Stop
miner
mining,
off. Stop mining lah.
Because wasting money, lost money.
No. If you want Bitcoin, you rather go and buy because it's cheaper.
Cheaper. Then
It's
mining
cheaper to
it.
buy than to mine. Yes, exactly. I would rather go and buy it, right or not? So the funny thing is, when you turn off your miner, a lot of people will also turn off the miner because the price is very low. Agree? When a lot of people turn off the miner, what happens? The difficulty level
Drops.
drops. It becomes easier to mine. And then it starts to get profitable again. Then people start joining in. So you see how this seesaw economic structure actually balance itself up so nicely. And this is what people don't realize. And that is why I don't want to call them stupid question. That is why, question I ask like, will Bitcoin ever go to zero and things like that?
As long as there's human greed, it will never go to zero. Okay,
Not
simple
just
as
human greed, because there's cost to it.
exactly. There will be people who will stop, people will be continuing it, and then it will always be, there will be a equilibrium and a balance eventually.
That's how it balances itself up.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those who think that it has no intrinsic value it might go to zero.
That is the biggest question. I spoke to a bank country manager. He said, I'm not going to believe in this thing because there's no intrinsic value. Where's the intrinsic value? You tell me first. Where's the intrinsic value? Then only I believe.
But you should ask him back. So I will talk about the basics. Then only I will talk about the economics and the philosophies of it.